Today, we're diving into an absolutely incredible story of resilience, forgiveness, and the power of mentorship to turn an absolute tragedy into a triumph. This is the story of Jeffrey Lorenzo Williams, and it all starts with one single devastating moment. Just take that in for a second. That single sentence from Jeffrey Williams, it perfectly captures the exact moment his entire world was shattered. So, what happened? He was just 13 years old. Think about that age. You're just starting to figure out who you are, what your future might look like. And for Jeffrey, a single moment changed literally everything. So here's the scene. It's the last day of school in the Bronx. Jeffrey and his brother are over at a friend's house, and the friend brings out a .22 revolver. While they were playing around, the gun accidentally went off. Jeffrey was shot, and the bullet left him paralyzed. And in the hospital, the new reality it was devastating. After weeks of holding on to hope that he would recover, a doctor just hands his mother pamphlets for a nursing home, telling her Jeffrey would be too much of a burden. The future he'd imagined was just gone. He cried for a month straight. Can you imagine? Despair had completely taken over. But in that darkness, two very powerful and, very different voices started to shift his perspective. The first voice, that was his mother's. She absolutely refused to let him give up. She told him that if this was his new reality, he had to be the absolute best he could be in it. She said, "Everybody gave up on you, so I need you to help me help you." Wow. His other mentor, this is where the story gets really amazing. It wasn't a doctor or a therapist or anyone you'd expect. It was a 7-year-old girl named Melissa. She was another patient on his ward who also used a wheelchair, and she had brain cancer. Every single day, Melissa would wheel herself into his room while he was crying, and she'd share these simple but unbelievably profound words. Hearing this from a smiling 7-year-old who was facing her own incredible battle, it just completely reframed his entire struggle. She became his angel, his guiding light. So his recovery wasn't just physical or emotional, it was also spiritual. And it all hinged on one of the hardest choices a person could ever make: the choice to forgive. Really think about that for a second. The friend who accidentally shot him, could you forgive him? Jeffrey didn't just have to think about it. He had to live with that choice one way or another. Incredibly, not only did Jeffrey forgive his friend, their friendship actually survived. And he defines forgiveness not as letting someone off the hook, but as releasing himself from that heavy weight so that he could fly. Now, Jeffrey's experience with mentorship it's extraordinary. But it's important to know that it didn't happen in a vacuum. He's actually part of a much larger ecosystem, a whole urban village in New York City that's dedicated to this very idea. And this is the United Palace, which hosts the Key Awards. It's an event put on by NYC Public Schools specifically to celebrate and honor all the mentors who are supporting the city's youth. And the scale we're talking about here, it's just massive. Programs like Project Pivot and My Brothers and Sisters Keeper, they involve this huge network of partners and schools, reaching tens of thousands of students all across the city. A huge piece of this urban village is the deep, long-standing commitment from corporate partners. Companies like Colgate-Palmolive and Ernst & Young have been running mentoring programs for over 30 years, providing internships, scholarships, and real-world experience. And Knott's support network is incredibly diverse. You've got financial giants like Morgan Stanley and organizations like the Financial Women's Association, all creating pathways and opportunities for students. It's a huge collective effort. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's bring it back to Jeffrey Williams. Let's see how his journey, shaped by those very first mentors, has truly come full circle. Just look at this contrast, the doctor's grim prognosis on one side and the incredible reality on the other. He didn't just survive, he built a life of immense purpose and unbelievable success. And what a life it is. The list is just incredible. He's a real estate broker, a fashion designer with his own brand, an author, a model, a global advocate for inclusion, and a finance administrator at Colgate-Palmolive. He's flown a plane, been jet skiing. He is constantly proving that the only limits are the ones we accept. And here's the part that just gives you chills. This is where it all connects. At the very awards ceremony that celebrates New York's urban village of mentors, Jeffrey himself was honored. The boy who was inspired by a 7-year-old girl in a hospital is now a celebrated mentor inspiring countless others. This whole story, from a hospital room in the Bronx all the way to a grand stage at the United Palace, it's really all built on one central, powerful idea. Mentoring is the key. Simple as that. It was the key for Jeffrey, unlocking his resilience and his potential when all hope seemed lost. And it's the key that this entire NYC mentoring community believes can unlock the future for thousands and thousands of young people. And that really leaves all of us with a powerful question to think about. Whether it's through a kind word, a shared experience, or dedicated guidance, what key do you hold that could unlock the future for someone else?